Hi everyone, Al the Psych here. I have a very quick video on what is called inattentional blindness. Okay, so before you watch this video, I recommend that you watch the Selective Attention Test by Daniel Simons. It's also by Christopher Chablis on YouTube. I think it just says Selective Attention Test and then says Simons underneath it, that one. And it only takes about 90 seconds. Okay, so I'll wait. Okay, so if you did the test, great. It just makes things a little bit more fun. Okay, so now this video, I'm taking most of my information from the book, The Invisible Gorilla. Okay, that's by Chabris and Simons from 2010. Other sources, of course, and of course, um, my own take on things. All right, so what is inattentional blindness? It's a lack of attention to unexpected object. Okay, a lack of attention to an unexpected object. So the test, if you did the test asks you to count how many times the people in white shirts pass the basketball. So your attention is on the ball being passed by people in white shirts. Now, so if you did the test, did you notice the gorilla or the person in a gorilla suit that walked by as people were passing uh, the basketball? Now, if you did notice the gorilla, well, you're in about the 50% uh, group that did see the gorilla, and if you didn't notice the gorilla, you're in the group of 50% that didn't notice the gorilla. So it's a 50-50 deal, apparently. Okay, so it's interesting. What's the big deal? Okay, well, obviously you're not looking for a gorilla in that scenario. And if you miss it, it's still, the question, okay, so what's the big deal? Well, let's take this scenario and stretch it a little bit. So now let's say that you're a doctor, okay? Well, the author reports that doctors can miss the diagnosis if they're not looking for it, okay? Inattentional blindness. If you've already got something set in your mind in terms of what you're looking for, there may be something that you weren't looking for that actually is what's going on. Okay, so there can be some significant ramifications. Okay, that's just one example. Okay. And the first chapter of the book actually gives a real interesting story about a police officer and inattentional blindness. I'm not going to talk about it, but I just wanted you to know it's a real interesting story if you want to pick up the book. It's a good read. Now, what about, I'm just throwing thoughts out there now. What about eyewitness testimony? So if you're there at a scene of, an accident or something like that, if you miss some of the scene, are you prone to confabulation? Now, confabulation is the production or creation of false or erroneous memories without the intent to deceive. I mean, we do these things unconsciously sometimes. You do not have to have a disorder, a brain disorder, or brain damage, or a memory issue to to confabulate. You might be a little more prone to doing it, but you can just be, somebody without any disorder, and you can still add things in. So that that brings up a red flag to me in terms of that. Okay, and I'm going to end it with one quick uh, little story. So, a friend of mine from work years ago told me the story when he was robbed at gunpoint. And even though the robber was just basically, a couple of feet away from him, uh, my friend basically had no helpful memory of the robber. But what he did have was a very precise and detailed description of what the robber's gun looked like. because that gun was pointing right at him. My friend was saying, yeah, it's kind of a bluish gun. It was a revolver. I could see that it had bullets in the chambers. So yeah, he was really zeroed in on the gun. So sometimes you're so focused, you're missing the other part of the picture. So interesting stuff there. The Invisible Gorilla, interesting read. Okay, thank you.